What's up, you guys? It is Rhiley and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while, but it's actually been a lot going on and I'm here to talk to y'all about it today. I tried to record this video almost a month ago and I had made a mistake and deleted it right when I was about to upload it, and I was feeling defeated because, you know, I was already emotional about the situation that I talked about, and I just didn't feel like going back into that at the time. But now, you know, for the most part, emotions are settled, and I'm in a better place now. So, without further ado, here's my story. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about the pandemic that's going on right now. The COVID-19 or coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. So for me, it pretty much started around the end of March. Yeah, the end of March. Me and my boyfriend were just getting ready to move because our lease was up. Our lease was up actually at the end of March, so we were doing a lot of furniture moving and getting packed up and stuff like that. So we were actually at his mom's house, and I was feeling a little bit under the weather. You know, my skin was kind of, everybody looks at me crazy when I describe how I feel when I feel like a cold or something going on. Like my skin is like fragile, like it's like achy. I don't want to be touched, and I just want to, like, you know, be wrapped up and lay down. But that's pretty much how I was feeling at his mom's house. I didn't have a fever or anything there, but I did have a headache for like one day. And by this time I was 37 weeks. Yeah, it was 37 weeks. But yeah, like I was having body aches, and then I had the headache for one day. I wasn't coughing or sneezing or anything like that. I was having shortness of breath, but I just tied that into being pregnant. I didn't realize that it was a symptom at the time until I got to the hospital. But after I wasn't at his mom's house anymore, I had stayed with my dad for a little while. Like I said, we were in between moving, and I was at my dad's, and it seems like that's when stuff started to kick in more. I didn't get any more headaches, but my body was still aching like this whole time. I think it was like a week. It was my body was aching for like a week, and then like a day or two after I went to my dad's house, I had an appointment to check on the baby. I went in, they checked my temperature was fine. They said everything looked good, and then I went home. And then it seems like after I got home, over the next couple of days, I started to get a fever. It actually went from 100 to 103. Well, it got to 103 in the hospital, but when I was at home, the highest it got to was 101. And then once my dad realized that I was running a fever, he was telling me that, you know, I need to call. I need to see if my doctor thinks that I should come in, because you know, he didn't want to chance anything. You know, usually I'm the type of person that I just sweat my colds out, I wait them out, and then they go away. I don't really like calling the doctor when I'm feeling a little sick. But you know, I'm happy I did go, because it turns out it was something way more serious than a common cold. But yeah, so a couple days after I got back from the hospital, I think it was like 3 days after I got back from the hospital, back from my doctor's appointment, I went into the hospital. I got right in because my doctor told me to come. It wasn't like I was just coming on my own. So they were expecting me. I first went into this room where, you know, they had to take some blood. They were checking my vitals a lot. And they were telling me that they want to check me for COVID, and they want to do a x-ray or a scan on my lungs. And I was nervous about it at first because of the radiation, and then they were saying that the levels aren't, you know, high enough, and I'm far enough along in my pregnancy for, you know, it not to affect the baby. So I went ahead and did it, and some hours later, they came back and told me that I had pneumonia in both of my lungs. After that the nurse came and she wheeled me outside because they didn't want to do the testing inside. And then she took this long Q-tip up my freaking nose. And it wasn't like people were saying where you had to hold it up there for a certain amount of time. She just did like a quick swab, but it went so far up there. I wasn't expecting that. I thought she was just gonna swab like this or something. She went up to my brain or something, it felt like. I was like, goodness gracious. And she had to do it twice. So, but she did it fast, so we were back inside fast. And then we were waiting on that test. And the whole time, I didn't know if they were planning to keep me or if I was going home. So my dad was sitting outside in the parking lot because, of course, with the virus and everything, they didn't want anybody in there with me. And that was really, really scary. Especially after I found out they were keeping me. So they moved me from that room to another room, and that's when the doctor came in and told me that I was positive for the coronavirus. And that's when I really got scared. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just in here by myself. Can't nobody come in and sit with me. And then in that room they moved me to, the nurses weren't very attentive, and it was kind of irritating me because I kept, when my IV had went out, and then every time my IV went out, I would get like shakes. And I forgot to mention that I was kind of experiencing that when I had a fever at my dad's. I was getting cold and really hot, like off and on. So that was another symptom. But I was experiencing it in the hospital. So every time my IV ran out, I was tripping, going from shaking for like 30 minutes to hot. When I was cold, I had to get like 10 blankets put on me in order for me to, you know, stop shaking and calm down. But I'm like, can y'all, like, I kept pressing the button, asking them to give me another bag because it was out. And I don't think I even got a second bag while I was still in that room. But that was the room that I spent the night in. And then they had one of the nurses from the labor and delivery come down and attach the stuff to my belly to monitor the baby, because all that stuff was going on with me. They were watching her very closely, and she seemed fine at the time, so they didn't have any worries about that. And after, in the morning, after I was still experiencing all the shakes and stuff, they moved me to ICU. And I loved ICU. Oh my gosh. The nurses there were so wonderful. Like, I can't say it enough. I appreciate them so much. And I'll tell y'all why in a second. But yeah, they were so much more attentive, making sure I was good and all that. So when I got to ICU, I was better when I first arrived, and then I got the shakes again. And I'm not sure if I was hooked up to the IV bag or not, but I know a little while after I got there, I started shaking really bad, and they were really worried. And that's when a lady came in, and she was trying to get me to sign this paper for a C-section to give them permission to do it if they had to. And I really didn't want to go through with that because, you know, I wanted to have a natural birth. Like, none of this was a part of my plan. I didn't think I would get COVID. I didn't think that I would have my baby early. Like, I just, you know, I didn't even get to take my hospital bag to the hospital. Yeah, I ended up signing a paper just to be careful. I'm like, okay, so if they have to do a C-section, then they have to, because I just want the baby to be okay at this point. And it seems like not too long after that, they had this team come in, and it got like really hectic when this team came in to put me on a ventilator. It seems like the lady in charge, you know, she was kind of like frantic, kind of, because the stuff that she needed wasn't in order. So it seemed like, from my eyes, it just seemed like everybody was running all over the place trying to get stuff. And, you know, she's yelling, and I had my mom on FaceTime because, like I said, I was in there by myself. I couldn't have nobody in there with me. So she was on FaceTime with me pretty much the whole time, communicating with the nurses and stuff like she was there. And she realized, or the lady realized, that my mom was on the phone, and she told me that I couldn't be on the phone. And I told my mom, like, all right, Mom, I'm about to get hooked up to the ventilator. I gotta go. And I had realized that my boyfriend texted me too. I ended up having to give him my mom's number because they were about to, like, put me to sleep. So I wanted to make sure he was able to talk to somebody. I didn't want to just leave him in the dark. So, like, after I hung up with my mom, not too long after, they put the thing on my face, and I fell asleep. I was asleep. And I thought that I would just be asleep for them to put the stuff in, the tube down my throat, and then, you know, I would be up. Y'all, I was asleep for 2 days. 2.5, actually. I was out for 2.5 days. Like, out, nothing. I already know how worried my parents and my boyfriend were, and his mom. Shoot, anybody that knew where I was and what was going on, because, you know, my mom told me she was calling, they wasn't having no updates. It's like, yeah, she's still asleep, she's still asleep. When I woke up, I still didn't even realize that I was asleep for 2 days. I had so many missed, you know, text messages and calls, and then I didn't put it together because I was on some drugs, and I was out of it. I don't even know why I tried to text and stuff when I woke up, because it wasn't making no sense, y'all. I went back trying to read that stuff. I was like, what was I saying? My boyfriend was just responding to me like it was normal. He like already knew you was out of it. But I was just trying to let you rest. But yeah, y'all, I didn't even tell y'all the craziest part yet. So when I woke up from being sedated, My belly was gone, y'all. I woke up not pregnant anymore. And I didn't even realize that when I first woke up. It could have a lot to do with the drugs, but I cried. Cause I'm like, dang, like I didn't even get to experience the regular C-section. Like they just took the baby out while I was asleep. Like no chest to chest, like no nothing. I don't even know what my baby looked like. And I was out for 2 days. I don't know what day my baby was born on, the time, how much she weighed. I didn't know anything. I was completely in the dark. Hold on. Hey, the fam mamas. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so I woke up not knowing anything. Like I didn't even know her birthday or anything. But yeah, I think that same day I woke up, I was talking to the nurses trying to get like some pictures of her or something. I'm like, can somebody please take my phone up there and take some pictures of her so I can see her? Like I have no clue what she looks like. So a nurse did take my phone and take some pictures for me. And this is where they became like such, like they went over the top, like over and beyond for me. And I'm so appreciative because they made being there alone so much better. Like, but yeah, so I got pictures of her, and I think I was in there. I was in the hospital for a week total, but I think I was in there 4 more days after I woke up, basically healing from the C-section, and I had to get my voice back because I couldn't talk at all once they took the ventilator out. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all. Look, when I first woke up, like my eyes were open and I still had the tube down my throat. And I didn't realize it, but you know, I woke up, I'm like, hold on, I can't breathe. And this is what I'm saying to myself. And I'm realizing I can't talk. Like, I can't tell them I can't breathe. Like, I thought I was about to die. I felt like I was holding my breath for 10 minutes. Like, that's what it felt like. I could not breathe at all. It was so scary. And then not even being able to communicate with them. But, you know, he was like, 1, 2, 3. And then, so when I count to 3, you're going to let out a big cough. And they pulled it out and I was coughing. But I still could not talk after they took the tube out. So my voice had to heal. My C-section had to heal. And yeah, I was in there for 4 more days after I woke up. And of course, I still was not allowed to see my baby in person. I could only get pictures of her because I was positive for the virus. They didn't want to put her at risk. And they actually tested her 2 times. She was negative, so that was wonderful. It was crazy. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I'm like, so I didn't get to see her first week of life, and now I have to stay away from her for 2 more weeks. Y'all, it was the most frustrating thing, depressing thing, like ever. Like by the time it was time for her to come out of the hospital, I was talking to so many doctors, and they were like, you have to stay at least 6 feet away from her. You have to wear a mask, and if you absolutely have to handle her, then you have to wear your gloves too. But I just left that to her dad. I'm like, listen, I don't want to. I want to be by her, but I will watch her from a distance. Oh, it was so emotional. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my human. Oh, it was really crazy. But I was happy she was finally home and around me. And then on top of that, not being able to hold her for 2 more weeks after that. So basically she was 3 weeks old before I got to bond with her, basically. And that was so hard for me. But at the same time, I was just so happy, so appreciative, so grateful that I am alive, that she is healthy, that I recovered. Because a lot of this could have been so much worse. So thank you, Henry Ford, for saving my life and my baby and taking care of her. Oh my gosh, I didn't even get to tell y'all, while I was in the hospital and when I got home, one of the nurses, she gave me her personal number so that she could FaceTime me and I could see the baby, like live, like moving and stuff. Y'all, it was, those nurses were so amazing. Like, I wish I had all their information and their names and stuff, and I would send them off something. Everybody that had a part of it. Because when I was better and I was leaving, all the nurses like, you were scaring us, girl. We were so scared. We were so happy that you got better. Wait, I'm happy I got better too. I was scared. My mom talking about she didn't sleep for 2 whole days. Well, I know she was super duper stressed out. Maybe I'll get into that. But yes, y'all, everything is great now. Little baby is almost 2 months old. She is wonderful. I am fully recovered, no symptoms. We good over here. We good over here. Oh, you scratched your nose. Oh my gosh, and when I left the hospital, I had so many bruises on me. Like, I'm gonna insert the pictures, but I had so many bruises on me. One of the bruises still isn't completely healed on this arm right here. And I got scars on my wrist from the IVs. But I hope I didn't talk y'all ear off too much and I made this sweet and short for you guys. But I really just wanted to share my story with you guys because you know, it's not a lot of information out there regarding the coronavirus and pregnant women. But you know, to this day I still can't really place where I could have got it from because all I did was work and go home basically, and then all the people that I was around prior to going into the hospital were completely fine. They didn't show any symptoms. They were never positive for the virus. So I don't know how it got to me, but I'm happy I beat it. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would show y'all the baby, but she's eating right now and falling asleep. Look like she's eating while she's asleep. But I do have a picture of her up on my Instagram, so you guys just go follow me on there. It's Rhajaa, Rhajaa. And yeah, make sure I give this video a like, comment down below, and subscribe. See you, girl. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. She's a little drunk, y'all. Stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Make that angel face.